So, day 41. At this point of the entire process, if you're not on a roll, this kind of isn't very applicable. Still, obviously, take notes down, write it down. But everything I'm going to be talking about now is for implementing when we are on a roll where setters are making anywhere between 1 to 4K at least, and closers are making at least 3K and up. For our first roll, that is very solid and that is what we would want. Obviously, you can be landing rolls that make a lot more than that, but considering that you're having to find them yourselves, and you're not working with someone like me, that's placing you in a role, that it makes it a bit harder. But it is possible nonetheless, and you will be able to land very high paying roles no matter what. For example, when I was doing this a few years ago when I started, I scaled to 10K a month in 4 months and then 20K a month in 7 months, doing it all on my own. So it is very much possible. It is a bit more competitive now. However, you can still do it. So the key things to note is obviously we don't want to be ramping up quickly, right? So what I mean by ramp up quickly is getting adjusted quickly so we can be performing at the highest level possible. Now we want to be doing everything that I'm mentioning in this video only for offers. Like I said, 1 to 3K minimum is what the setters they're already making, and 3K and up for the closers as well, because otherwise it's just not proven, right? So you can do all of this, but it's not going to make a massive impact because you're not necessarily going to be able to reach those results, if not more than the current team. However, if it is a new offer, new team, you could be doing well, but at the same time, it's like working with any startup in any business, you are taking a risk because naturally it's not proven, and therefore it's a lot harder. However, let's get into it. So, most new setters or closers waste the first 30 days figuring things out incredibly slowly. So in this video, I'm going to give you a checklist to ramp up quickly, faster than anyone, so you can start making serious money very quickly on these new offers. So the first thing, quite obvious, learn the offer inside out. So the way we're going to do this is, if we're setting, we want to watch and hear every single setting call the company has, both the good ones and the bad ones, and understand why they're good, why they're bad. Same if you're a DM setter, we want to see those screen recordings, screenshots, whatever you want to see. If we are closing every sales call recording the company has, both the good ones and the bad ones, we want to learn the structure. We want to learn, for example, the objection handling, understand the common questions that get asked and the correct way to answer those questions so that we are prepared. We want to be able to explain the product as if we're the founder. So if you have, setting calls or closing calls, or setting DMs where the founder is actually doing it, request those, because those are the ones that you want, because they are the most important ones in terms of how the offer is being spoken about and what it is, right? It might not be being pitched in the right way based off of what we've spoken about, and the sales call might not be great. But in terms of the offer itself, learning the offer, we need to know it inside out, like the founder does, because he created it. On top of that, we need to understand the key pain points, the core pain points that our audience and that our demographic that we are going to be selling to has. Because otherwise we're kind of just shooting in the dark a little bit, right? We need to understand, okay, if I'm working with a fitness coach, is the people I'm calling, are they mostly looking to lose weight, get a six-pack? What is it? Because it's different and you'll have different pain points. If I'm, helping businesses with their marketing, what are their pain points? Really understanding those. And same with if you were helping someone with a make money online offer, right? Selling courses. Who knows, right? Because let's say this is a great kind of not insider, but this is a great way to know if you are understanding the offer well enough or not. It is if your dad, your mom, or a friend were to ask, so what do you do for a living? What do you do? What do you sell? You need to be able to say it clearly, and they need to understand it within 30 seconds. And if that can't happen, then there's something up there. If they're left with a bunch of questions, get back to work, right? So that's kind of how you understand if you actually have learned the offer or not. Next, we want to shadow the best performers. So Book time to sit on calls with the top closers, um, top setters, right? So, for example, you can join the Zoom meet that they're on, camera off, muted, so you're just listening in. Same with setters, right? You can be in a Google Meet, a Zoom. They can be sharing their screen, doing some dialing. You can be muted, with your camera off, all that jazz. DMing, self-explanatory. Google Meet, FaceTime, Zoom. They share their screen, and you shadow them. You need to understand how the top performers are working. What is the workflow like? What are they prioritizing in the DMs, or how are they prioritizing leads that they're going to be booking in over the phones? How do they handle objections? How do they maintain the frame on a sales call as a closer, right? All of these little nuanced things are really important. So we want to take notes on tone, on pacing, on the questions being asked, right? You can also steal like what they're saying and use it for yourself, but you need to adapt it to make it sound natural to you. Then what you can also do is literally just ask the people who are top performers like what they wish they'd known or done differently when they started, right? Because it's important that you show people that you care to improve and you care to get better, right? And it's really simple. It's just asking questions, putting yourself out there, trying to be the best. If you were trying to be the best football player, would you rather, for example, who's going to be more likely a successful football player? The person that shadows Lionel Messi, or the person that just goes to training every day, Barcelona training, Inter Miami training, whatever, Argentina training, and they just go in there and they just kind of like take it as they go. Take it as they go. They're never asking questions. They're never shadowing people. They're never understanding what, for example, the best way to kick the ball was or whatever, right? It's pretty different to sales. But it's important to know, and it shows people there that you care, and you're way more likely to, be kept on board because you're showing and you're maintaining the right energy. And that is super important when you are working with a company. Are you providing value to that company or not? Because it's not all about results, right? I remember I've worked for many different offers, and I've even hired people where I just hire them for their energy, right? The energy they turn up with, how they help other people, outside of sales, which makes them perform better in sales. That's a great person to have around. Obviously I'm maybe not paying them as much as I would be a top performing closer, but I'm giving them a different role, right? Which is kind of like a little HR role or something, right? So there can always be good things that happen just by showing up and showing everyone that you are a valuable member of the team. So after that, right? So learn the offer inside out, shadow the top performers, track your numbers from day one. Whether you are DM setting, phone setting, closing, understand how many DMs you're doing, how many people you're calling over the phone, how many people you're booking, how many people that you're booking are showing up to the meetings. What is the close rate? Like for all the people that show up, how many people are getting closed? These are super important because your job as a salesperson is to find bottlenecks within the sales cycle and sales machine, you could say, quickly. If your show rate is low, fix it as soon as possible. If the close rate is low, mention that to the sales manager so that he can be reviewing their calls daily, role playing with the closers daily, because it makes a massive difference. If you do not track it, you cannot improve it. You are going in blind. So it is incredibly important that you track your numbers, not just for, the business that you might be working for now, but also it's good for you to know your numbers so that when you go on other interviews in the future, that you actually have those numbers and you can say, this is my experience, this is my numbers, this is how good I actually am. So that is incredibly powerful, and it's going to make you more knowledgeable. You're going to create more leverage for yourself, because if you know how the company improved their close rate, Then you can give that knowledge to another company you work with. Same with the show rate. How did you improve that? Implement that. You are now more valuable. You have more skills. You have more leverage. Well done. You will make a lot more money. Right? That's all this game is. Look at sales and closing and setting like a video game. And you're leveling up, you're leveling up, you're leveling up. The more time you spend doing this with the right intention, and you track the numbers, and you get the right feedback, you will turn into an absolute monster. There have been people that I've seen in this industry who at first, I didn't even see them as like a top earner, but they shocked me, right? I didn't expect them to be earning 20K a month, but they did, because their attitude and the way that they attacked this industry allowed them to get to that level. Because the only difference between you and someone that makes 20K a month is they have more leverage, either because of information or network, or they just work way harder than you, right? Hard work can get you so far in this industry, especially if you're not wasting time on crappy offers and you ensure that you have the skill set. So that is important. Track your numbers. Next, get feedback every single day. If you're DM setting, screen record conversation, send them to the manager, send them to the sales team manager. Dialing, same thing, send them to the sales team manager. Closing calls, same thing. What's the number one thing that I can do better tomorrow? Right? One thing. Implement it quickly. Because feedback is useless if it just sits in your notes, which is the exact same as me in this video, right? Everything I'm saying to you in this video means nothing if you've taken action on nothing that we've spoken about up until this point, right? I have given you everything that you need to start making money in this industry. You can do it. You have to implement it though. It's all about the implementation. So get feedback every single day, no matter what it is, whether it's your mindset, whether it's how you're setting calls in the DMs, over the phone, how you're closing, whatever it is. Feedback, 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 implement it. Then, over communicate with the founder or the manager, right? Show them that you're engaged, show them that you're coachable, ask questions, send daily updates, right? There's this thing in sales, it's called EODs, so end of days. Basically, it's an end of day report that a lot of companies do, where you basically say, for example, if you're a dialer, like setting appointments for the closers over the phone, you say, okay, I did this many dials, I got this many pickups, I booked this many meetings, whatever, maybe like another personal thing, right? So I hit this PR at the gym today, right? That is very common in this industry. It's EODs. So that is going to allow you to show them that you're actually working. You're putting the work in. It builds trust. It opens the door for bigger opportunities within the company. Because if they see you over and over again working your ass off, you will be rewarded. Done. Simple. This isn't like corporate 9 to 5 world. You can go from 0 to 10K quickly within one company. To do that in the corporate world, it takes years of hard work, years of climbing that ladder. In this industry, you can do it in weeks, months, sometimes even days, right? Just by showing up with the right attitude, working your ass off. People like people who work hard. Entrepreneurs work hard. They like hiring people that also work hard and have the right energy, the right mindset, and they want to keep you around. And if you're talented, you'll be able to go other places. So they will give you opportunities to stay, and they will pay you well for it. Okay? So communicate with the founder and the manager. Be like this if you can, because that is so powerful. Then, this is what I said. Focus on speed of implementation. If you learn something new in the morning, apply it the same day in your next call, whatever it is. Apply it, apply it, apply it. The people who scale the fastest in sales are the ones who learn and implement the fastest, right? For example, there could be people watching this entire series who've implemented nothing so far because they're like, oh, I want to wait for the end of the videos. No. You implement as you go, right? Unless you're watching it back to back to back to back. That's obviously different. But I've been dropping these daily. You should be implementing these every single day, right? So, implement quickly, communicate, become like this with your sales manager, your founder, get feedback every single day, track your numbers, shadow the top performers, learn the offer. That is how you ramp up on an offer incredibly quickly and start earning quickly and start outshining everyone that works for that company. And you'll notice I've barely even spoken about the skill. Because the thing is, if you show up with the right energy and the right mindset, you can see the utmost success just by showing up in the right way every single day. We're going to be talking a lot more about that towards, the final stretch of this series. But all of it's in here. Okay? That's the key part. So, treat this like a race. Implement it. Because if you do, when you're working on these offers, you're going to get noticed. And if you want to actually, hit the high numbers, you need to get noticed. You need to. Now, as always, thanks for watching. Feel free to check the links in the description. But as always, I'll catch you guys tomorrow.